Hello, it's Beth of beth-schneider.com, integrating spiritual and financial freedom, that we may be living full spectrum lives, abundant and at liberty in all areas of our lives. That is our spiritual heritage as conscious beings of light and love, as individual aspects of consciousness that have temporarily put on a costume of a physical body and get to infuse this experience with infinite awareness, sometimes called enlightened. So may your experience be full of light, fully enlightened, that you are able to live lightly rather than heavy and burdened. And what I want to draw your attention to today in this regard of, is life heavy or is life light, and how perception is truly of our own making, and how we perceive and think about things is the basis of how our life is unfolding. So when I want to make massive change, long-term massive change in my life, in the direction, then there has to be a complete flip in the way I see things, which goes way deep, way below the surface, like the iceberg. 10% of our consciousness is conscious. The rest is 90% is unconscious. So I am listening to the audio version of a book called Influence that was recommended to me by people I highly respect, other mentors, and it is by Robert Cialdini. He's a psychologist and looking at the ways that people are influenced. And so he tells a story that I think illustrates a very important point of how influenced we are by forming ideas of absolute reality, which is completely not, and really nothing is, even the things that we think ought to be. So here it is. Someone was brought 3 buckets of water. One was hot, one was cold, and one is lukewarm. And they're asked to place their hands, one hand in the hot water, one hand in the cold water, and just hold it there for a few minutes. Then to take those hands out and put both hands in the room temperature water. Did I say room temperature? Well, anyway, the middle one was at room temperature. And this huge look of shock comes on the young man's face, because what he's experiencing is that his hot hand is now cold and his cold hand is now hot, but they're both simultaneously in the same exact water. And I encourage you to do it as an illustration for yourself, because there is nothing more vital to understand than that everything is fluid, malleable. And today, the lesson in the Course in Miracles on day 15 is, my thoughts are images that I have made. My thoughts are images that I have made. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm looking at these rocks, these trees, but they're images that I have made. In other words, instead of that is out there coming in, I'm like a projector and projecting out. Now that may seem way far out to you, but just, I would say, be supple and be malleable and just be willing to not know and let it be revealed. Yes. Everything, the way I perceive it, is based on the orientation and the paradigm from which I am judging and assessing. So dramatic interruption, dramatic pattern interruption is required. And it's not, I can decide to change it immediately. It's like I can know cerebrally, intellectually, let's say, that a computer could be operating in a different way, in a brand new way. But as long as the same programs are playing on it now, running on it now, then the same results are going to be happening. So it's not enough to have an intellectual concept of something. The transformation has to be throughout. And so honor that this is a commitment to a long-term journey of mass transformation, and just never trust that what you perceive as a limitation as to why you can't do something is fixed. It is not fixed. I know that for myself so much, that sense of where it's not working or where I may feel limited feels so big, like a big mountain, but it's just not real. So it's my responsibility to be willing to let it go, let it go, let it go, whatever it takes, and not whatever it takes, however long it takes, it's moment by moment. So reflect on that interesting example about the hands in the water and how diametrically opposed the very same thing can be to our perception. So it's on us to recognize that everything is fluid and that the mass transformation that you seek in life is about changed perception. So love and peace to you, Beth the Sybil, here in the Indian Canyons of Palm Springs, California. Lots of love.